Daily Solutions Podcast, 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 Daily Solutions Podcast.
All right. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, glad you could join us here in the studio. So, my name's Graham.
My name's Ashkahn.
And today's question is, we thought appropriate. What do you do for your staff for holidays? Do you keep your shop open, or do you let them have the day off?
So yeah, if you're asking us specifically,
we force every single staff member to work every single holiday.
Yeah, even if there's no customers, they just have to sit in an empty shop.
It's important. Running a float center is hard, and they need to learn how to toughen up and suffer and not be around their families.
Our rules are pretty. They're pretty like just organically developed. Like we won't force anyone to work on holidays. We're fine being closed.
Yep.
I guess one thing to talk about first is would people even book on holidays, like Christmas or New Year's or something like that? And it turns out they totally do.
Yeah, they definitely. We've been open on pretty much every major holiday. I've worked our shop on New Year's and on Christmas before.
We've had people float through midnight on New Year's. Actually,
it's not. I think we pretty much fill up our tanks every New Year's that we are open during that time because it kind of sounds like a cool thing to do. Enter the new year in a float tank.
Yeah. So customers will definitely come in if you're open. They will come. But the question is, do you force your staff to work?
Yeah.
We don't. It just doesn't. I don't know. The amount of money we'd make for being open on the holidays doesn't seem worth it to us to make people work on holidays when they don't want to.
But we're totally fine paying holiday pay if people do want to stick around and open up the shop.
So yeah, our basic rule is it's pretty much just if anyone wants to do it. If any of our staff wants to, and we don't even force it or push it or anything. Like usually the times that we're open, someone in our staff will be like, hey, or like, are we open Christmas? And we're like, hey, yeah, probably not unless anyone wants to work. And they're like, yeah, I think that'd be fun. I'd like to work on Christmas. And we're like, okay, well, you really don't have to. Like, it's totally cool if we want to stay closed. And some people we've just had in the past who are really into the idea of coming in on Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's. And the idea of being there and floating people on a day like that sounds really cool to them. We're like, okay, like sure, like we'll be nice open if you want to be open.
Yeah, it's nice having people who actually like their jobs.
Yeah, it certainly would feel weird to not be open despite the fact that customers want to come in and our employees want to come in.
We've also not uncommonly, we're not open for the full day, but we have a couple members who want to float or something like that, and one of our staff members just decides to be nice and do a favor for someone and come in for 1 or 2 float sessions of the day and be like, okay, well, I'll be there from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. if you want to actually come get us float in, because they have these nice personal connections with the members and just feel like doing them a favor. And
also our customers end up being really awesome too. They'd be like, bring the people working pie and like all sorts
I was the recipient of one of those pies. I was working on Thanksgiving, got this delicious pumpkin pie that someone had baked and brought in, which was awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. The only thing I have thought about before, we had a conversation at some point about the like perception of us being open. Like you could see from an outside perspective, people thinking we're forcing the staff to go work. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I just don't care. I'm not gonna like worry too much about perception when the actual reality is something that doesn't seem to be upsetting anybody.
Yeah, no, and obviously we still have people scheduling floats and not boycotting us outside for inappropriate labor rights or anything like that. And that said, I think that we do end up being closed on more holidays than we end up open. Like I think more often than not, our staff just kind of takes the day off and
here's the list of holidays that we are not open on off the top of my head.
Flag Day.
Yeah, National Pie Day. There's Christmas.
Yep, New Year's.
And Christmas Eve. We're off that whole time. New Year's Eve and New Year's we're usually closed.
Yep, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, we close
Flag
at least we close for a week around Flag Day, really
Flag
in
week.
commemoration.
That's what it is.
We'll close for usually the second half of the day for the 4th of July and the second half of the day for Halloween. And we will close for our anniversary to have a party in our shop. And I think that is it. I think that's it. I think those are the only days of the year that we're closed.
Yeah, do we do any weird hours around the conference?
No, we stay open through the conference, which is insane.
Not that would affect any other float center anywhere in the world, but if you are leaving your float center, you might want to give your staff the conference time off so they can tune into the live stream. I think that is all the big holidays
I think so too.
that we give off.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our Christmas episode, everyone.
We thought about just playing an hour long of Yule log audio burning, but we had a question to answer. So,
and our audio engineer nixed that one. So,
all right. Well, if you guys have more questions for us, you can always hop over to floattanksolutions.com/podcast. And I hope you have a very nice rest of your day.
Yeah, I hope you're staying warm and happy out there. Bye, everyone.
Bye.